I lose my strength, before I lose my breath, no phrases. And let me say good evening, good evening. Welcome aboard the homegrown train. It's all about the homegrown reggae music coming out of the Virgin Islands with that universal message. You know, before I lose my strength, I'm gonna give you the message in the music. Let me say good night to Rock City, good night to Love City, not forgetting Twin City St. Croix and my internet family. Know that this should not prolong no more. Good night to my brethren and my sisters in the mountains. Before I lose my strength, all my thoughts are good. Good night to all the farmers. Want to say give thanks, okay? Keep up the good works. So from now until 12 midnight, the best of homegrown reggae music coming at you. Inspiration for your meditation. Also, I got the doctor in the house from Graspmatyx, Dr. Yates.
Now you're listening to Rasmani, best in homegrown reggae on WSTA.
Here in the Virgin Islands, which I normally would be on CW, right? We should be UPN, the channel, right? Usually channel 39, now they're 23 and HD, right? HD, right? So, but I want to return the program because I have so much footage now, so much documentary information, but lack sponsorship. Yeah. And it can be on WST, can be on radio, it can be a radio program too. Right. The idea is to get the information out there. If we can have a return on television and the radio, it will be great because it's food for thought. We need to be. My goal is to build a bridge from Ethiopia to here, so our people can travel back and forth. Like I said, let me give you another example. Especially for the Rastafarian community here, not only the Virgin Islands, but those who listen on the internet. Right. What I admire about Islam is that most people who have been inverted to Islam, see, Christianity does conversion, but Islam does inversion. So most people who are inverted to Islam, they must take part in what? Every year they must go to Mecca and make that pilgrimage. We need to make that pilgrimage to Ethiopia. And that is the reason why a lot of these so-called reggae artists I do not support. Sizzler and Kipper, I used to when they first came out. But none of them, I've never heard any song they sang in the Amharic language or any video of them being over there among the priests and being blessed and being anointed. I have never seen that. But the point is that I'm thankful for a lot of Virgin Islands reggae conscious artists like Razganji. You know, like Black Star. Oh, wow. That's why I featured the music with the footage of Ethiopia. You know, like Bach. You know, a lot of these conscious reggae artists, you know, like Sabbatical Ara. And these guys really, when they sing, you can feel that anointing, that effect that they're really talking about home, but they need to go. They need to get in touch. I'm thankful for these brothers that they've encouraged a lot of folks about being conscious, etc. But you have to go there to get baptized. You must go there to get baptized in the truth, in the reality, in the rhythm, in the vibration. See, I've obeyed the visions I was getting, the visions. It is written, obedience is better than sacrifice. So I'm glad I did. So now I'm using my experience as a guide to full encourage our people, brothers and sisters, to go home. It's a place of pilgrimage. Another thing too, when I'm encouraging my brothers, especially the Rastafarian community, when you mention the emperor's name, when you say Haile I Selassie first, or Selassie I Selassie first, right? Don't stop there. Say, may the blessing be upon him and his children and my children too. Because he lives. He's alive in the message, alive in you. You represent him. So he's alive. He's not dead. So when you say his name, always at the end of it say, and the blessing be upon him and his children's children and our children too.
Is that the message you get when you go to Ethiopia from
yes.
people?
Yes. You know, it's amazing because the first time I went, I've seen the emperor. I talk about physically in the children. Physical in the people. It's amazing. That conning, what do you call it? They call it conning, but I call it magnetic resemblance. First of all, the emperor is more than a physical man. The emperor is of a immortal man in attitude and mannerism. I have DVDs and documentaries you can't find in the West about the emperor. And one of them I have is about his world tour. And if you see how John F. Kennedy bowed down to the emperor, the president of the United States, how royal people around the world bow down to him and honor him in such great magnitude, that unfortunately most people in the Caribbean, the only thing they can talk about him about, oh, he starved his people, oh, he killed them. It's so despised. But these Caucasian people can now who he is. And they honor, we're talking about head of states, the things they go through just to be in his presence. And he moves so calmly, so peacefully, so gracefully, so in the attitude of the lamb, that the Bible speaks of the lamb of the Creator. But you see that in the people of Ethiopia. And he taught them so many things about how to represent and how to truly represent them within Ethiopia and outside of Ethiopia. So he is alive. I am saying to the Rastafarian community, we need to take our walk higher heights. We need to now go home. We need to make that pilgrimage. You can talk how much you want to talk about the emperor, but if you don't go into the land in which he was born, in the land in which you protected and defended, in the land in which he rested, in the land in which he wakes up, in the land in which he where is your faith? Where is your walk? I mean,
did you take that trip to Shashamane?
Had to. Shashamane is much bigger than ever before. Remember now, Shashamane, the land that was given to the Rastafarian community, is the emperor's own personal land. This has nothing to do with the state, with the government. This is royal land given to a people. Unfortunately, I have a documentary on that. Matter of fact, it's not a documentary, it's a documentary I have on that, where it shows indeed that monies were given to the Rastafarian community in Jamaica by, listen, millions of dollars, over £5 million were given to help the Rastafarians in Jamaica exodus to Shashamane and build a community, and unfortunately the government of Ethiopia took that money and misused it. When the emperor showed up, I want to know why which is bad. But however, I have documented where some of the people stayed and persevered. Shashamane is a blessed. Matter of fact, I plan to buy real estate in Shashamane. Most of my investment is in Gondar. But Shashamane is when you go to Shashamane, it's a sacred place to dwell. Beautiful, beautiful place. Shashamane. There are many other places, but Shashamane put Ethiopia on the map bigger than ever before because of the Rastafarian community.